back further out onto the camper. So right now, there is a tremendous amount of weight here on these bars that is making that happen. What we're looking for and what we look for when we set it up is that once we do drop it on, we take before and after measurements, and as long as the truck doesn't change within about an inch and a half, we know we're good. So what we're shooting for is an overall even keen between vehicle and trailer.
Right.
Of course, yours is just a tad down in the front, but that was kind of the maxed out position that we could put those bars and still make them so you could engage them without having to put, something underneath the jack to lift it up further.
Okay.
Easiest way to engage these bars or disengage them is going to be, this power jack is going to be your friend. In the truck, and we'll go over that here in a little bit, there's going to be a manual handle that will allow you to use this bracket as a leverage point and actually overcome all that tension and muscle it up in there. That's a pain in the butt. You probably will not want to make a habit of using that. So easiest way to do that is, of course, when you pretend we just backed into your spot at the RV park. What you're going to do from here is you're going to start running the jack down. So you'll go all the way down with the jack till it makes contact with the pavement, and then you're going to keep going. So you're going to crank this jack. Essentially, you're going to lift the rear of your vehicle and the front of the camper all the way up as far as that jack will go. So all the way up. Once the jack stops, there's going to be enough tension off of these bars that you can go ahead and pull these cotter keys, pull these L brackets out, and then you will be able to lift them off of that bracket once the jack is fully extended. So once you lift both sides off of that bracket, you're going to come back down with the jack until you're at a livable, respectable level with the truck and the camper. So from there, you're then going to take your pin out, unlatch your coupler here, and then you're going to go back up. This time you're only going to go 2 or 3 inches, just far enough to clear the ball. So then you're going to be free of that. From there, if you take these bars, once they are disengaged, and you rotate them out here to this position, there's a little pin in here. It's going to push that pin out. If it doesn't, for whatever reason, push that pin out, you can come here and actually pull that tab, and that'll release that bar. So these bars are pretty heavy on themselves, but they're about 15, 20 pounds. You'll take both of those bars off of there, and then of course you go ahead, disconnect your 7-way, disconnect your tow chains, and you're free, completely free of the camper, so you can back out.
Okay.
And just to kind of go over it again in reverse, say we're loading it up. Of course, we're going to have all these parts taken apart essentially. We're going to raise the coupler 3 inches or so above the ball. You're going to back underneath of it. You're going to lower the camper back down on the ball, and then once you get to that level height, you're going to go ahead, latch the latch, put the pin in it, and then from there you're going to again lift both vehicles sky high as far as the jack will go. At that point, the tension will be off of these bars enough where you can, it may take a little bit of effort, but you'll be able to lift them up onto those brackets there. Once you are on the brackets, go ahead and put the bracket in there, and then put the cotter key in when it's still sky high. And then you'll go ahead and you can go ahead and, once they are engaged, you can go ahead and bring that jack all the way. I say down, but you're bringing the leg all the way up into the position that it is right now.
Okay.
Then of course you cross your tow chain hooks underneath the vehicle or underneath the coupler. Put your tow chain, or cross your tow chains, put your emergency breakaway right there next to them like it is so. Plug in your 7-way wiring and you're good to go.
Okay.
Pretty easy? Yeah.
And then this, like, when we get there, we take it out, like.
Yeah. I mean, you could leave it in there. Although if you would want to leave it in there, I'd get a locking hitch pin. Somebody might come along and take that. Of course, you paid a lot of money for that. People recognize those as being very expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would take it out just because, knowing me, I'd bust my shins on it at least once, and that would be the end of that.
I would want to take that out. And these other parts as well, right? I mean, like, these will all come.
Yeah, those two, these things,
These-
stay with the tongue, or is
No,
just, oh,
no.
this is one piece and I need to put it away?
So all of this
Uh-huh.
is essentially one piece, although these bars do come out, they do separate from
Got
this for storage. So you'll take all of that off. These brackets here that are on the camper stay on the camper. So these will be here all the time.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay. So, and then all this, that part I just have to hide away every time I'm...
Yeah, just put it in the
lock,
truck.
put
or-
the lock on the lock we buy over here, right?
Yep.
And then when you were saying about this piece over here that it comes out, whatever, I need to be careful not to lose it? Is this gonna...
No, this piece is like a spring steel,
I see.
and it's a pin. So the
Got it.
design of it, and it doesn't work perfectly every time, is when you disengage these, this is staying stationary. You're just swinging this whole arm out to this position here, and then once it hits that one position, it literally drops right out the bottom there.
And then,
Well, I think I have a...
no, are these also sway bars, or is that something separate?
This is a weight distribution hitch with built-in sway protection. So
Okay.
just the act of these bars being here
Give you some
is going to
protection.
keep it from swaying. So what happens in a sway situation generally is your toe, and we're going to go over this a little bit with the brake controller too. In a sway situation, your toe vehicle